Welcome, everybody, and welcome to Buzz Talk Live. Tonight, we go into the studio and visit with singer-songwriter Marc Jonson. He's been part of the NY Greenwich Village music scene for over 3 decades. Marc has recently toured Spain with the band Company of Dreams Unlimited. Through his long career as a singer-songwriter, he has worked with many popular artists as Robert Gordon, the Smithereens, the Roaches, and Dave Edmunds, to name a few. In recent years, he has written songs for Disney's Cars and the Finding Nemo companion CD. He is here tonight to talk with us about his new release of his album, When, his upcoming projects, his newly designed website, and performance at the Village Folk Festival this month. So let's chat and welcome Marc to Buzz Talk Live. Hey there, Marc. How's it going?
How?
What a welcome. And welcome to Buzz Talk Live. And right off the bat, I know we're in show blacks tonight. I figured that out from when we first got on.
Of course. Yeah.
It was beautiful. I don't know. I didn't make any phone calls to you.
No.
So I don't know how we coordinated that, but we did.
Well, there's so much stuff behind us, it would be conflicting.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? It's best that we're in black tonight because you're not disturbing your background. I'm not disturbing mine. Oh, God. Marc, thanks again for being on Buzz Talk Live. And where do I start with you? My God, the rich history of the whole village scene, the folk music festivals, and because that's an annual thing. And all the bands that you've been a part of, you've written music for, but it started, for you, it started like in Long Island. You're a neighbor of mine, which I didn't even know until today.
Merrick,
Long Island, on the South Shore. It's incredible that you're well, I would say a stone's throw, but it's not. But you're close, and we're fellow Long Islanders, and it's great, you're making the time for me tonight. So, so when you were growing up, tell me a little bit about how you got into music, what drove you, and who you hang out with. I mean, I have some pictures here that you can speak to. That I think they're great. The black and white ones are awesome. Can you speak to these?
yeah, the guy, that's me on the left, on the upper left,
Yeah.
in my
at you.
house in Merrick. I lived right behind Lakeside School, which was the elementary school that I went to. So it was really convenient. Growing up as a kid, it was like the
Huh.
schoolyard was my yard. So the whole school grounds, you could play until it got dark. And
Yep.
your parents knew where you were.
Mhm.
And it was an incredible place, and it was because I lived right next to the school, there was a fence that you could jump over. So if any bad guys were chasing you, you could jump. In fact, it did happen that
I'm
one
sure it
night
did.
when I was 11 or 12, these guys were chasing me and my friend, and we jump over the fence into my yard. And of course, these freaky guys, they get right over the fence with us. And I run down my driveway, and these guys are running after us. And my father comes out of the garage with a hammer,
With a hammer.
with a hammer in his hand.
Beautiful.
And those guys turned around and leaped back over the fence, and I never saw them again.
What year are we talking there?
Oh, that's when I was 11.
When you were 11.
So, it was like,
Wow.
those
Wow.
were the years where you were discovering other neighborhoods and
Right.
gangs and stuff like that, and what was okay to do and what wasn't okay to do. And quite frankly, that was so neurotic of a reality, that I really turned to music, because it was a place of safety.
Mm.
And so we had a piano in my house, and
Did you
I
come
used
from a musical family?
not really. My sister, I think my parents inherited this beautiful old piano from my
Oh, wow.
grandparents, and they had it in the living room. My sister, who was 7 years older than me, took lessons, and then she didn't stay with it. So the piano just was dormant.
Oh,
So I would sit in front of it at first and kind of sit on the pedals, the sustain pedal, and sing into the harp and make it reverb. Uh, and reverberate actually is the right word. And
you didn't know what the hell you were doing, but you got something out of some
no,
pleasure out
and
of
it
it.
was, yeah, it was something that was that I'm leading up to, is that I was very interested in sound. I was interested in the way things sounded.
Interesting.
Um, and that got me. And then when I first heard my father's brothers had a tape recorder. My father and his brother were both in the army in the signal corps, and when they got out of the army, they went into the phone company. It was electronics. So my uncle, my father's brother, was a gadget guy. So he had like a 8 millimeter camera. He had tape recorder. He had all these
Oh
gadgets. And
wow.
whenever we
Oh
went
wow.
over there, I would get exposed to them. So when I got exposed to the tape recorder, I noticed that my voice didn't
Right.
sound like it sounded like in my head without the
Right.
bone
Right. Right.
resonance.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
without that bone resonance, I said, "That's not me. That's how I sound." And yeah, that's how you sound. So
That's how you sound. Yeah. Yeah.
I got real interested in tape recorders. So as soon as I could save up money on my paper route, I got a tape recorder,
Look at you.
combined the piano and
Look
the
at you.
reverberation
Right. Right. Right.
and and my love of doo-wop music and Elvis.
Nice.
And I started singing and making up little songs. I loved the Beach Boys.
Nice.
And
Nice.
so as I was 11, 12, 13, and those days, um, I started thinking about what I could do with all of these things that I was interested in.
Was there
So
any other in your peer group that uh, had a
no,
musical background, or even
Mm.
no?
Not really, because I was making it up on my own. I think because eventually I got attracted to other people that were doing it, that were musicians.
Right. Right.
But I was always the guy with the garage. I would that and the band practice would be in my garage, and I was the guy. I think because I had a tape recorder, so everybody thought, well, maybe he'll bring his tape recorder to the to
Right.
the
Right.
garage.
Right. Right.
Um, but no, I had the tape recorder in my room, and I started figuring out how to overdub with it and get sounds and plug the microphone into a Fender Reverb and then get reverb and then multi-track. So you
Right.
could only
Right.
multi-track three or
Yeah.
four
Yeah.
times.
So you were I guess the love came with audio first, then music, or was it combined?
It was
You think?
combined,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I didn't just sit around, wondering what can I do. I immediately wanted to hear what I was doing back.
Right. 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 Right.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
I think at that time, most people didn't know how to do that. And I certainly didn't know how to do it well,
Sure.
but I
Sure.
did it well enough that it was satisfying to me. And then I started honing it, making it better, thinking about ways to make it better.
Yeah. And at that age, I mean, look, you're not educated on the stuff. You're just kind of pushing buttons. You're seeing how, it's more of a response than anything else. It's play it by
Yeah.
ear and see what comes out of it, and that's great. I think that's the best way to learn. Baptism by fire, as they say. Uh,
Well, you have a picture of Les Paul behind you, right?
I do. Yeah.
Well, that's how he discovered all these things. He took a telephone receiver and put it together with other things, and then
Mm,
he discovered the electric guitar. So he was a few generations before mine, but so I was sort of taking what he had brought forward,
right.
and I was just making up my version of that
Yeah. Yeah.
at that time.
It was such a that period of time with all audio and multi-track and
It
reel
was
to reel
incredible.
tape and all that stuff. Yeah, that was like that was the time to really jump in and really understand how audio signals get on tape and play around with that stuff. And I mean, did you eventually pick up a guitar or and follow music into your teenage years and uh,
First the piano,
first piano?
age 6 and 7, and then as I got it on my way to being 11 and 12, I that got more sophisticated. But
Right.
in fourth grade, I started playing the drums for the
Oh
school
wow.
band and school orchestra, and that always helped me later with songwriting because I wrote
Mm,
in phrases. I realized how important phrasing was to songwriting. Songwriting is a mixture of melody,
right.
lyrics, and phrasing.
Right. 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 You wouldn't say that about rap music today, would you?
Yeah, no, well, I don't know about the melody part, but there
Right.
there is some melody going on in the background, which is like
There is.
comical.
There is. Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
not too much melody going on in the front.
Right.
Um,
Right.
but that's what it is. It's a departure from what had been established as a song,
Now, in
songwriting.
in in your growing up then, I mean, Elvis was a big influence on you
Yeah.
at the time. And did you ever see Elvis live, or was it uh,
No.
no?
No. Mm-mm.
That would have been incredible, to see him live.
I
Uh,
think it would have been. I mean, I think it would have been more incredible if I was a female. But I think what I loved
yeah.
about Elvis was his records and the way they made those records.
Right.
The
Right. Right.
echo and the reverb that they used, and the way Elvis used his phrasing and his voice.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he had incredible voice. I mean, come on. It's Elvis.
Yeah.
So all right, so now you're getting into your teenage years. You're fooling around with local, like putting together local bands at this point, or you're still trying to figure it out at that point. I mean, I would think you're in your teenage years now and approaching 20. I mean, you're right in the wheelhouse of trying to make a stake for yourself and figuring the whole thing out.
Well, when I was 15, we had formed a band in ninth grade called the Gay Intruders. We didn't know what gay meant, but we thought it was like the gay 90s. So it sounded like the Gay Intruders.
Yeah.
It sounded like
Well,
a bunch of party crashers.
yeah. Well, at that
Like,
time it was for happy, I think,
yeah,
because
it
that
meant happy.
yeah.
So we we had a band and we went in. We cut a record, and so that was 15, 16 years old. So we had ventured into the city, made this one record, and it was just re-released on Munster Records recently.
Oh
And
wow.
yeah, it's a Spanish label. So all those years later, it's getting a little of attention, and people are enjoying the fact that it's so punky. It's very
Oh,
um,
it has a punk influence on it?
yeah. Well, it has a punk side to it. It's
Really?
very yeah.
I,
It's
I
very
wouldn't I
garage
wouldn't think
band.
that of you, Mark.
No, yeah, no, that because the engineer producer was in there saying, "Put more bitch in your voice." Like I was singing it and then hold this different way, and he goes, "Nah, put more bitch in your voice." So I did. So with a little encouragement,
Yeah,
we all
yeah.
can do different things with our
Well,
talents.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, with folk and everything, you're trying to take a little thing. I mean, look, Bob Dylan was a big influence. I mean, around the time when you went and started to perform uh, at the Village, uh, before then, you had the likes of Dylan uh, and music. Barbara Streisand got noticed there, and a lot Jimi Hendrix. A lot of people went through that scene. And when did you start with the Village and going to places like Kenny Castways and Folk City?
Well, I had made after the in the race thing in high school. All my friends went off to college. I got left back because I had pneumonia
Oh,
in 10th grade, in 11th grade,
oh boy.
and I was in the hospital for a couple of weeks, and I missed my finals, and then I missed my makeup finals. So they left me back, and I didn't want to repeat my 11th year.
Right.
So I kind of quit school, and then by the time my class did graduate, I felt like I didn't have a focus and a purpose, and they all were going off to college. So I kind of focused on my tape recording and my
Music.
songwriting
Yeah.
and my music. And then I walked a 9-song demo tape into the city one day in 1970, at the end of 1970.
Right.
And I got real lucky. I found a couple of people who liked it. And then I got an offer from RCA Records to be a
Wow.
producer and an artist, to make my own records. I was going to
That's awesome.
produce Fair Prairie League. And then I got swayed away from that deal through people influencing me. And I wound up signing with a smaller label, because somebody said it's better to be a big fish in a small pond than
Right.
a
Right.
small fish in a big pond.
Right.
And I signed with Vanguard Records, which was a classically folk and classical classical label.
Right.
And
Right.
I
Now,
made this
Is
record.
Vanguard part of Vanguard Village and all that?
No. It was its own label. It was, it was known for Joan Baez was on that label,
Okay.
and Country Joe and the Fish, and um, it was a folk label.
Hmm.
And I made a record there. It took me a year from getting signed to the time it came out, and it was my record was anything but folk, because I wasn't a strictly folk artist.
Hmm.
So I had all these other ideas that during that year while I was producing it, they let me produce it too. So as I was producing it, there would be these instruments left over from classical sessions the night before. So
Right.
I said to the engineer, can we use those harpsichords? He says, well, Bill's Rental's picking them up at 3:00. So use them, hurry up. It's
Hurry up.
12:30 now. So I would run into the studio and
Wow.
I had something.
Repurpose
I'd repurpose what I was doing, and
Right.
I would add these instruments, timpani, harpsichords, all sorts of classical
That's awesome.
instruments.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah.
And so we made this record, and it came out, and I toured around very little bit, and it kind of came and went. And then recently, in about 4 years ago, it got picked up. People started talking about it. It was certainly an anomaly in the Vanguard catalog, because it wasn't strictly folky. And so I think because it was so unique and unusual, people started being interested in it.
Right. Right.
So now it's been out, and it's been re-released on vinyl through Munster,
Oh.
and
Oh.
and it's out, and also on Real Gone on CD on Real Gone Music. It's been released.
So songwriting is your wheelhouse, and because you just write songs for yourself, you write songs for others as well. And
Well, when I got to New York, the album came and went, and I didn't know what to do. I tried to get Cat Stevens as manager to manage me, and he almost did. And he was managing Colin Blunstone at the time, the lead singer from the Zombies. And Colin had a record out called 1 Year, and my album was called Years. And
okay.
Barry thought it was too close for him to want to take
Copyright,
on
yeah.
both projects. Not the copyright, he just didn't want to take on managing both
Oh.
projects at that time.
Right.
So
right, right.
I kind of didn't know what to do with myself, and I just drifted into the Village. And then I started going to the hootenannies and playing out in
Right.
small clubs. And that was a lot of fun and learning. I learned a lot. And
I got some pictures up of you jamming in some of these clubs.
Yeah.
I don't know. You're gonna have to ID these. I don't know where they are, but Uh,
Well, those are recent. These are recent pictures. That's in Spain.
oh, that's okay.
Yeah, but I I hung that's actually that's at the Bob Dylan tribute, his birthday, not
Oh,
tribute, his
nice.
birthday show that I was asked to play on. That's Richard Lloyd and me in Spain. We toured together in 2018.
Right.
That's Steve Forbert and me on my birthday in Austin. Steve had a show, and I went to it, and that was the bitter end.
It almost looks like a cartoon.
It does. But these are recent. I recently played the bitter end with my band, Company of Dreams Unlimited. They came over from Spain, and we did a show at the
I
bitter
tell
end.
you, a lot of these places that you've played in now. I mean, just to divert a little bit, as far as what's going on with COVID, I wonder if they're even going to survive. You know, these little hole in the wall, clubs, and they're famous for what they are and who's been in that, on that stage. It's crazy.
Yeah, I
You
hope they
know,
do.
hope they do. Yeah, yeah. Who's in this
That's
picture
that's
here?
Pat Denizio on the right, Amos Jones, Steve's friend,
Mm,
Steve Forbert and me. That's me in Spain
okay,
playing
okay,
at a wonderful little bar. That's the Smithereens,
nice.
just prior to Pat Denizio passing away. Um,
Now, how did you get to play in Spain? What what was the?
Spain was my girlfriend Maria is a painter, and she has her family in Spain,
Oh,
and
okay.
so she wanted me to meet them, and so I went over to hang out with her cousins and her her not grandparents, but her cousins,
Yeah.
and while there, I have to do something when I'm there. I can't just go to the beach every day. So we drummed up some shows for me to do, and I met this band. I saw this band there. I put the word out that I was looking for a band, and because we were going to be there the whole summer,
Right.
and I put the word out. I was looking for a band, and we found a guy that knew of a band, and I went over and I saw them. They happened to be playing this one night, and they knocked me out. They were so good.
Wow.
A trio. There were only three of them, so I felt like I could join
Just slip
that
right
kind of
in
a
there. Yeah.
band, fit
Yeah.
right in
Right.
without muscling in on anybody, and so that's how I met them, and they're just incredible guys, and once we get back to live shows again, they're going to be my band in Europe and here.
Oh, wow. Wow. That's awesome. That's awesome. Um, so now you songwriting. You're doing stuff for movies. I got Disney cars and you're doing songwriting for for the CD.
That was
Compilation CD.
that just came about. My friend Fred Mullen from Merrick,
Right.
he got into the music business too, and he was a couple years younger than me. And I remember saying to him, "I'm going to move to New York from Merrick," and he goes, "Oh, I'm not going to go there. I'm going to go to Toronto." And his brother had just moved up to Toronto and had been up there for a number of years, so he felt
Right.
like his brother had broken some ground that he could, you know, feel comfortable there. And uh, he went right away. He started producing records, and he produced Dan Hill. Sometimes when we touch that big, it was a pretty big song.
Hmm.
And so, fast forward when I was deciding where to move to in 2000, 2001, I decided I was going to move to Nashville. And Fred, hadn't seen him in a number of years. We kind of lost communication, and he had moved to Nashville the year before. So joined up with him again, and he was working with Jay Landers, who was at Disney, And one day Fred called me up and he just said, "Meet me for lunch." And I met him for lunch, and we went back to his place, and he said, let's write a song. Here's some lyrics, and he had these lyrics about fish and stuff. And so there was this one song called the Turtle Rock. He says, how would this go? And I thought, Turtle Rock, Crocodile Rock. I was thinking of the Elton John song.
Right,
So I
right,
said,
right.
how about this? Doing the Turtle Rock. Yeah, yeah. Doing the Turtle Rock. Yeah, yeah. And Fred goes, yeah, that's great. So we wrote that. And then I found out that it was for this movie, Finding Nemo.
Oh
He
my
didn't tell
God.
me right away.
Oh my
And
God.
then we wrote a couple of other songs, and that led to writing. And then the next project came along, and Fred said, "Yeah, you did pretty good on the Finding Nemo. Let's do this next project for Disney and Jay." And it
Yeah,
was
yeah.
called Cars, and we did two. They were called companion CDs. They weren't in the film, but they were like had the artwork, and parents
Oh,
would
I
go to
see.
Best Buy and say,
Right.
"Oh, look, there's Cars." And
Yeah,
we
yeah.
did it with great musicians. It wasn't just two guys with a laptop in a room. We went to a major studio in Nashville, and we had these great players playing on these
Yeah.
not really kid songs. They weren't written down for kids. They were written, they're really well written lyrically. I mean,
Mhm.
fun and kind of, for kids, but not too sappy, not too kid sappy.
Right, right. Did this come before or after you won a BMI award too?
Oh, this is it long after. I got the BMI award in 1988 for Best New Songwriter, and also a couple of other nominations for Best New Song. I wrote a song that my friends the Roaches
Right.
recorded. It was called Love Radiates Around. And it had this very beautiful angelic beginning that their producer produced. Um, and
Huh.
it was got a lot of attention. A lot of people a lot of people used it for their wedding song, and it
Oh
got
wow.
nominated that year for a best new song.
Right,
And
right.
that's how that came about.
Oh wow. All right. Um, so you how did the Willie Nile stuff come up? Did you know him before you started playing, or is it just you met
He
by
knew
playing?
me. He knew me before he started playing. Yeah, yeah, we were we were comrades in arms in the village.
Oh, okay, okay.
And we were playing the same hootenannies and the same that's how I met Pat Denisio. We were all like scuffling around, and nobody had any
Right,
folk,
right.
nobody had anything going yet. And so I remember my friend George Gerdes and I were doing a show for a week at Folk City called Together for Their First Crime. And we needed an opening act. And I remember saying, I had just seen Willie for the first time, I think, playing at the Hootenanny. I said, I want Willie Nile. And we played that week show with George and I and Willie. And then Willie went on to get signed to Arista
Oh
and
wow.
did those two great Arista records, which I was a part of.
Oh, that's
Um,
good. I
yeah, and
mean,
so we've come up through the ranks together, and have always been phone friends, and
yeah.
conversed
Well,
about various different periods of time. We were
right.
both signed to Bob Dylan's publishing company in
Oh,
the
nice.
early '80s,
Yeah.
and I had three songs on a Robert Gordon album. And Willie said, "You got to hear." Willie had been signed because the Dylan people had heard his record and loved it so much. And Willie said, "You got to hear this guy, Marc Jonson." And I remember Naomi Saltzman said, "Oh, please, we don't need any extra people here." And he said, "No, no, this guy is really good. This guy's really good." And so they signed me up, and it was a great experience for a few years. We were
Yeah, I
there,
bet.
and we rubbed shoulders with not rub shoulders with Bob. I never met him at the office, but we met all the office people, and it was a great experience because they had brought they were managing Bob's whole career, so exposure to all of those people was a wonderful, wonderful experience and
Mhm.
opportunity to look behind the curtain and see
Yeah.
what that guy was doing.
Hey, so Mark, a good part about the show is the chats. That people chat in, and they ask questions of my guest, and I do have a couple of chats. Let's go there. Well, the first one there from Easton Girl, maybe Eastonland Girl. Awesome to see you, Mark. And then from Joe Telecaster, who are your songwriter influences?
Oh, many, many. Of course, my songwriting influences, I would have to say, right in the early stages was Doc Pomus, who wrote for Elvis.
Huh?
And later on, I became friends with Doc. He used to come to all my shows in the Village at Kenny's Castaways. And Doc was in a wheelchair, and he used to have to be wheeled in the back, and there was always a table in the back of the room that was for him. And he was, I couldn't believe I sat him down. I sat down the first show, and I said, I can't believe you're here. I said, uh, you know, I love your songs. And he wrote Save the Last Dance for me and Suspicion. And every time you hold me, I'm still not certain that you love me. And he wrote Little Sister and Marie's the name of his latest flame. And then I think later I really fell. I got influenced by, of course, uh, Van Morrison and Dylan.
Right.
Astral Weeks was a big influence on me, as was Arthur Lee in Love. Love Forever Changes. That changed my. I used to clean my room to Love Forever Changes. Because I could put it on and just it gave me all this energy. And for some reason, I used to always clean my room and play Love Forever Changes.
Where do you pull your ideas from as far as when you write a song? I mean, is it just from experiences through life, or is it the
Yeah,
moments, or
I think it was just early on from being so interested in the piano that my sister abandoned,
Mhm.
and being absorbing all of the I think I absorbed all of those doo-wop songs that I heard on the radio when I was growing up.
Yeah,
Those beautiful melodies and the sentiments of the harmonies. It was they were like prayers. They
right,
were like romantic prayers, and the way they sounded, the way they would get around a microphone and the kind of reverb that they would use, and the kind of the way those records sounded and still do. My two of my favorite records are Get a Job and A Book of Love, by the Monotones. Book of Love. Well, I wonder
yeah,
whom
yeah.
who
Who
wrote the
wrote the
book
book
of
of love?
love. I mean,
Yeah,
it's fun. They don't take themselves that seriously.
you don't hear that stuff today, my friend. You don't
Yeah,
hear that
yeah.
stuff.
Everyone takes themselves so seriously.
I know. I got some album covers here that you've been a part of. You've been worked on for other people.
Hmm.
Wow.
King of Love, Dave Edmunds. There's a guy that takes himself seriously.
Yeah.
It's King of Love. It was a song. 12 in a Room. That was a collection of demos that I did in New York City. That's the Wild Alligators record that
Right. Right.
had the band of the Wild Alligators band. Uh, there's the
Right. The cartoons.
Freddie
Yeah.
stuff that I did for Disney.
Good stuff,
Um,
man. I mean, look, you're all over the place. It's you got your fingerprints on everything.
well, it's like the stock market. You got to be
You got it
diverse. Got to
diversify, right?
diversify.
Exactly.
Yeah,
um, and now your new album. You have a
yeah.
new album out. When?
When it's not out yet, but it's
Well, I
coming
mean,
out.
it's coming out
Yeah, it's
soon.
coming out.
And the single. Do you have the single out? Or is that
Not we don't have anything out yet. We're
okay?
getting there, right,
I
John? Yeah, we're getting there. Yeah. This is my girlfriend doesn't like the Ramones. Let's talk about that for a second.
yeah.
This
Let's
is
talk
this is
about
a
that.
single we did from Munster Records, the Spanish label, and it's called "My Girlfriend Doesn't Like the Ramones." I don't know if that's being able to be seen.
Yeah,
And
you
then on
got it.
the other side is
Yeah,
the girlfriend.
that's the
Um,
girlfriend.
yeah, my girlfriend doesn't like the Ramones. It's a legitimate 45.
Oh
Um,
wow, that's
it's got
amazing.
a
They have this
sleeve.
out now again. I mean, people are
Yeah,
spinning
it
records. It's
is.
great.
It's important, and then Munster Records also put out a vinyl version of this, which is 12 in a room,
Oh, nice.
and it's got like a new back to it and everything, and
I
it's
have
just.
a I have
Mhm.
a video of my girlfriend.
Oh
I'd like to
yeah.
play. Let's check that out.
Okay.
My girlfriend doesn't like the Ramones. What's the matter with you? Hey, you like the Rolling Stones? She says they ain't nothing, just a bunch of noise. Now you got my hair up, I'm a sensitive boy. My girlfriend keep laughing at me every time I talk like Joey and DD. I really, really, really love them. They got what it takes. 2-minute songs and a no guitar break. Well, she's just a drama queen, but deep down she's a doll. Rock and roll is king, and it echoes down the hall. My girlfriend really hates the Ramones. I have to sneak around the house and wear my headphones. Someday she gonna realize she's just like them, or else it would never be my girlfriend. She's my girlfriend. She's my girlfriend. She's my girlfriend. She's my girlfriend.
That's great, man. I love your guitar strap. It's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So what's behind the lyrics here? We know the obvious, but where are you going here with this?
Well, I was in Spain and I started to, I guess, be homesick a little bit. So I started looking at videos of the Ramones. Now, the Ramones were around when I was in New York,
Mm-hmm.
um, but I didn't pay that much attention to them. I knew them peripherally. I knew a lot of their friends. I didn't know them, but I rode around in a limo once with Joey Ramone after an award after the New York Music Awards. We all got in a limo. That was a trip. But anyway, I didn't know any of them. But so I wanted to. I started watching some videos of theirs, and I thought, you know, this is a phenomenally amazing group
Yeah.
and what they accomplished and what they did with the simplicity of it and the uh, the focus of what they did, the three chords they used, so I got real fascinated with the I don't know, kind of catching up on them, like I didn't really have that much experience listening to them, so I started listening to a lot of interviews, and every time my girlfriend would come in the room, she'd go, "Oh, you're not listening to another Ramones interview." And this went on for 2 weeks. And it's sort of what happens, when you get an iPhone, it's sort of like iPhone addiction, because you
Right,
have
right.
so much at your disposal. You have so many avenues. Instead of, I used to go to the library, to entertain myself, and now you just have to look at your phone. So that's what it was. It was a combination of me uh, being so curious about the Ramones.
Right.
I mean, and 2 weeks before that, it was probably Simon and Garfunkel. Like, oh, I want to catch up on all their interviews and shows I never saw.
Hmm.
So that was it. I just wanted to see and hear every interview that I could of the and television show that I could of the Ramones, and so it was driving, you know, my girlfriend crazy.
And this is part of the new album. When?
When is part of the new album, but it's an older song. It's not a brand new song. In fact, I
Okay.
wrote it. I wrote "When" with Willie
Oh,
at one point,
okay.
and so yeah, you never know where a song's gonna come from.
No, you never do. I mean,
Comes
you
from
can
real life. The best songs come from real life
experience.
experience.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
Well, that's why what is it, the country songs they're always you know singing about their girlfriend or
uh
who
huh.
who, who got shot or country songs are always based on that on that
Yeah,
same
they're stories.
the
Like
stories. Yeah.
gunslinger stories, and
Right. Right. Right.
I'm a gunslinger. Yeah,
Now, you got a new website out too.
yeah. It's really functional and exciting and modernized
Yeah, I
because
know. I've seen it.
yeah,
It's
I'm
it's
real.
really cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. And
What's the URL on that? What is it?
it's just Mark, MarcJonson, no H, no K, markjohnson.com. A lot of the songs I wrote in the past for Dave Edmonds and Paul Butterfield and them
Mhm.
was MarkJohnson. That was my birth spelling, and there were so many
You
MarkJohnson
had to switch it up.
in the BMI computer that
Right.
they told me, it's very easy to get mixed up in
Confused with
terms of
somebody
getting
else.
your songwriting
Oh,
royalties.
right.
So I changed it to with the way I did, so it would have at least I'd have a little bit of a chance to get my to be different, to be a different Mark Johnson.
Right. Right.
That
Right.
was the original reason for it. But I also like the way it doesn't have that American H in there. It has more of a European, Swedish, and that's my background anyway. So,
Okay. Okay.
and the K, the C is more rounded, and the K is what a K is.
It's your name, man.
Yeah,
It's your name.
yeah,
So we're gonna go into the studio now. We're gonna switch things up a little
yeah,
bit, and we're gonna jump from here, and we're gonna go into the studio, and you're gonna perform a couple songs. Now,
yeah.
you want to set these songs up? What we're gonna hear?
Rainy Dews, I'm gonna do first, and that's from Years. That's from my first record,
Okay.
and uh, it's just a cool little. It's the first song on the album,
On the
so
Years album.
on the Years album, yeah. So
Okay.
I must have put it there because I thought it was like something good to grab people's attention. So I thought I would do that tonight, and then I'll
Uh,
play When.
all right. All right. So let's go into the studio,
Okay.
and we'll wait for you to get ready, and I'll buy some time here, Mark is going into the studio now, and he's gonna join us shortly, and I believe he's there now. So let's bring in Mark at the studio.
Here I am.
All right. So, all right, I got you there. Got a little lag in my internet here for some reason tonight, so bear with me. We're okay, but it's just a little laggy. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Rainy Dews from the Years album.
I don't like some things I see. I don't know if you agree or not. I can't wait for summer to set me free. You see, I know you see. You got eyes that just like mine, and you stumble all the time like me. Well, I just bought a very large clock, and I hung it on my wall. And now I've conquered my only fear, and man, have I grown tall. Yes. No, it's not that easy, yet I simplify it all. I've beaten out my brains today, just staring at the wall. And where was it I saw you last? Just about this time. You were standing in the shower, washing off the grime. The Episcopalian mother, she was coming after you. Something about the faith and all those promised rainy dews. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'll never find that dancer. I've looked for her in every town now. I've just got to find her. Oh Lord, you must believe me. I've stepped outside my shoes, looking for the man so I can pay my rainy dues.
All right, all right. Excellent. Little golf clap there.
Sound of one hand clapping.
Yeah, right. One hand clap. That's awesome, man.
That's where it all started.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
now here's where it is.
and here's where it is. All right, go for it.
All right.
I just can't wait. Another day I'm going crazy.
Out of my head now.
I've been thinking of your laughter. I've been dreaming of your kiss. Darling, when there's a tear in your eye. Darling, when the only thing to do is cry. Darling, when I come home, I'll make you smile. Just tell me when. It takes so long to find somebody you believe in this world. I've been waiting a lifetime for a moment just like this. Darling, when there's a tear in your eye. Darling, when the only thing to do is cry. Darling, when I come home, I'll make you smile. Just tell me when I put my arms around you. Nothing else will matter then. Darling, when there's a tear in your eye. Darling, when the only thing to do is cry. Darling, when I come home, I'll make you smile. Just tell me when can I come home to you? Yeah, yeah. When can I come home to you? Darling, 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 when.
Wow. Awesome, man. I mean, so much emotion in your performance. You're really giving it all. The passion, it really comes through. It's great. Good stuff, man. Good stuff.
Thank
I
you.
tell you. So now this song, when did you write? When did you write this song?
Oh, let's see. I think we, I would say around maybe 1989.
Oh wow. So it's been on your shelf there for a while, and you really didn't. Is that what you usually do? Is you write songs and you just kind of shelve them and then you pull them out and then you tweak them? Is that what you
Yeah,
do?
everything, it is, if you're not writing like the flavor of the day songs, like what everyone else is writing on the radio.
Right.
Like that, I've always made that my. It's not like I make it anything. It's just the way it is. I don't listen to that stuff, and so if I write a song, it really, music is about the modernization of music is more about production. Like you could produce that any song and make it like the way people are producing songs,
Right.
you could produce a song and make it Americana. You could produce a song and make it hard rock. You could produce a song a certain way and make it country.
Right.
So,
But doesn't that depend on the artist? So, like, you got
yeah, it depends on the artist.
right, and
What
they make it their own.
Yeah, they make it their own. Like if you play a song on a guitar, like when on an acoustic guitar, it's sort of like it could be, depending on what you put behind it.
Right. That's great, man. I mean, and then obviously the change in everything, the tempo and everything from the first song you played. I mean, that's reminiscence of the year too. I mean, that was back in the '70s that song was.
It has a flavor of that.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, just by listening to it, I mean, I'm thinking Dylan, I'm thinking Cat Stevens, I'm thinking who am I thinking of? Jackson, was it Taylor?
James Taylor.
James Taylor. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
It has a lot of flavors going on there with that song. I mean, that's reminiscent of the times too. I mean, when that album was released.
Mm-hmm.
But
It has a little Cherry Garcia in it too.
Yeah.
That flavor.
A little flavor, a lot of flavors going on. Good stuff, man. I mean, so now what you're going to be part of this whole. Now every year, the village has a folk festival going on,
Yeah.
and obviously this year, because of what's going on, it's going to be virtual.
Right.
Now
So
that's
we're gonna be part of that, and we're gonna.
so is this
Sunday night.
your stage basically for the performance?
I think we're gonna do. Yeah, I think we're gonna do the Greenwich Village Folk Festival from this perspective.
I see. Okay. All right. And it's going to be a
10 p.m. Oh, 9 p.m. Oh, wait, 5, 6, 7. It's 7. I go on at 7. Is that what they told you? I guess. Yeah, I guess we're going on around 7. But
7 p.m. on October 4th. It's a Sunday.
October
right?
4th, Sunday night. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's a whole slew of other people that are really good that'll be playing too. So it's going to be a good kick back, make popcorn.
Yeah. I mean, we usually have you played the festival before? I take it.
Yeah.
So what kind of crowds do they draw? I mean, I'm
Well,
sure
they drew a big crowd. Yeah, they would draw a very big crowd, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. I mean, it's end of summer type of kickback and listening, just to local artists in the village type of festival, which is really cool. But now it's so different, with this whole virtual thing going to go on, and I wish them luck on how they're going to pull that off. I'm sure it'll be fine, and people will be gravitating to it. It should be good. Should be really good. I mean, and then your album comes out. When is the release of the album?
Don't know yet.
Oh,
but
okay.
soon.
Soon. All right. And now
we're going to be doing another. We'll be doing another concert, little mini concert after the Greenwich Village Folk Festival concert. We're doing another Highland Lakes concert.
Okay.
Just a little, we're going to keep in it. I think we've decided we want to keep in the internet concert thing, but we want to do it in a good way and with good audio and
sure. No, it's really important, especially.
And I also want to thank John Hulbig, who produced this whole thing and is managing the whole thing.
Johnny Hulbig. All right.
Yeah. Hey, John. Yeah,
Johnny Eubank.
John and
Shout out to Johnny.
shout out to Johnny, and a shout out to Maria Marjaris. This is her studio that I am
Yes,
in.
I see some fabulous works of art on the walls, and
Yeah,
she's got a talent. She's got a talent.
yeah.
Well, I can't thank you enough for stopping in tonight,
Well,
Mark.
thank you so much, and I'm just so glad to be a part of your show, and
Thank you.
the fact that we share an upbringing together on Long Island.
Yes.
Were you brought up on Long Island?
No.
Okay.
I was brought up. I was a Queens. I was brought up in
That's
Queens.
Long Island,
Well,
but it's
yeah,
not
there's a
Long.
whole-
It's not Nassau
Look, Mark,
County.
there's a whole debate about that, but yes,
Okay.
technically it's Long Island.
Yeah,
But
technically, it's Long Island.
Queens is
Not
part of-
culturally.
No, not definitely not culturally. But yeah, I mean, I grew up in Queens and moved out to Long Island in the early '90s. But yeah, no, look, fellow Long Island boy, good stuff coming out of Long Island
Absolutely.
for many years. So I wish you the best of luck with the new album, and
Thanks, George.
and with the folk festival that's happening. That should be a lot of fun. So tune into that. And on October 4th at 7 p.m. And where is that a stream? Is there a
Yeah.
Where do they go to view that?
Facebook Live. Facebook Live.
Oh, it's Facebook Live. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the show that we've just done will be archived on markjonson.com. And I think you archive it for a while too, right?
I do. Yes.
Yeah.
This show here is going to be up on my Twitch channel. And it'll be up on YouTube starting tomorrow afternoon. It'll be up there for, I don't know if they even take it down, but it'll be up there to view for people that subscribe to me on my or not, but hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and enjoy tonight's broadcast if you missed it. But thanks again.
Yeah.
Stopping in, Mark,
Yeah.
and best of luck to you.
All right. Yeah. You
All
too.
right.
All the
Okay.
best. Stay safe.
Thanks. You too.
All right. Good night.
Oh boy, that was awesome. Lot of years of talent and a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. That was a band. But a lot of that in his musical influences and his talent. So join me again on Sunday. Sunday night. I'm gonna have a British comedian, an actress, a writer producer. She's a creator of the popular the comedy sketch Tashi Nonstop. It's for children ages 3 to 7. And that's going to be at 9 p.m. on Sunday night. So tune back in on Buzz Talk Live for that program. And that's it for tonight. I think that was great. I mean, Mark was awesome tonight. So once again, if you're not following me, please follow me on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/BuzzTalkLive. My YouTube channel, Buzz Talk Live. I'm all over the place, so just look right there. I'm all over the place. And that's it for tonight, folks. And thank you, and good night, America.